Hi friends, so welcome back to day 27 of showing up. I wanted to take a moment to just share some things that have helped me kind of come back into balance. I've talked about like spiritual hygiene things that have helped me come back into coherence and balance. But there's also like practical life stuff that I've done to help me come back into balance as well. So if you're interested, just stay tuned. And so let's start with number one. There's been so many things. It's really hard to quantify like my whole life in the last few years that have really helped me come back into balance. But depending on where you're at in your life, I think all of us could benefit from a schedule. And when I say a schedule, I don't mean like something super rigid, but practice mindfulness around what your natural rhythms are around sleeping and waking, and then try to stay consistent with that. I know things vary and nothing's perfect, so you're not striving for perfection. None of what I share gives you free rein to now be hypercritical and perfectionistic about anything. Just give it a shot, because this is what's worked for me and I'm not perfect at it at all. So I started going to bed at reasonably the same time and waking up around the same time. And what I found is that I naturally would wake up at the same time anyways, usually, unless I've eaten too late or some other, I don't know, whether it's digestive issues or being hot in the night, like maybe I didn't turn the thermostat down low enough. But usually I'm waking up at the same time every day. So that means I need to be going to bed at a reasonable time, because if I go to bed late, I know my ass is going to be waking up at 6 a.m. no matter what. So getting to bed at a reasonable time, for me, my sweet spot is between 10 and 10:30. And yeah, so that's number one. Number two is I started making my own food and meal prepping. And do I always do this? No. But I try to eat the food that I actually make myself and make it really simple, but I'm getting enough protein, I'm getting enough fiber and whole foods, okay? As you know, in my last video, I take a probiotic supplement and I take other supplements. I don't try to overdo it, I just simplify. For a lot of people, they're vitamin D deficient. And we all could use more magnesium. So I take zinc, selenium, magnesium at night sometimes, and take my morning supplements that I showed you in my last video, most mornings too. And another thing that's been really helpful for regulating my energy is I'm constantly following my creative passions, and I'm doing creative projects. Not only am I doing school stuff and being a mom and making content online, but I'm also doing other fun stuff to keep me engaged and creative. I started making sun catchers last year, and I made a bulk batch of mostly finished sun catchers, and so I've been doing the finishing touches that I've been avoiding, which is the hooks and the actual attaching the glass balls to the chain. And I also started another YouTube channel and made it specifically for reading aloud this book that was really impactful for me and impactful for a lot of people that are a part of the same spiritual community as I'm a part of. And the book is called My Lives with Lucifer, Satan, Hitler, and Jesus by Kim Michaels. And so I've been putting the religious school stuff together for that, making instructions and guiding people on how it's gonna come together. And so be creative. It doesn't have to be like what I've described, but find something that you can really immerse yourself in And another thing is I invested in a personal trainer because my gym at the start of the new year was running specials, and as an introductory offer for members, they were doing very reasonably priced packages, and I was able to work that in with my budget and afford that. And I know that's not accessible for a lot of people because, again, we live in a world where we're being milked, a lot of the time. But that doesn't mean that abundance isn't everywhere and that you can't create it. It's just not in the ways that you would imagine. And focus on the abundance that you have inside to be creative, because that is really where everything comes from, is resourcing from within, And so finish those projects that you started. And if anything comes up in the process of that, just know it's just more of an opportunity for you to look at yourself and see, why is this such a big deal? Why am I reacting this way? And follow that all the way to the root if you can. And get outside, go for a walk in the morning or throughout your day. Make sure to get a good walk in, walk for a while, 20 minutes at least. That's been really helpful for me, especially in the morning. Movement. Sunshine, movement, despite the weather, get outside, and consume content that helps you grow and to look at yourself. Consume things that bring you joy, but also, that you're learning. Pick a subject that you want to learn more about. For me right now, it's relationships and psychology and geopolitics. Those are the things that are naturally interesting to me that I do in my off time away from school. That's just for me. I'm interested in relationship psychology because I've experienced a lot of tumultuous ones in my life, and I love learning new skills to help me grow and become a more developed, mature human being. And I like self-responsibility, and I like being empowered, and I like doing the best that I can. And from a pure place, a pure innocent place of just beginner's mind, and using the tools that experimenting with new tools and new ways to be, because what I have been doing hasn't been working, and what you've been doing most likely hasn't been working in terms of living your life, because we all come into this world and develop certain complexes and behavioral patterns that keep us in certain loops that are not serving us. And so we want to learn, we want to grow, and so we have to study and acquire and take the time to know thyself, right? Okay. I think this is enough, and I am really grateful that you're here, and I will talk to you again in my next video.